What's the best way to sell our ideas? Let's talk about that.
Focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to The Brian Nichols Show.
Oh, hey there, folks. Brian Nichols here on The Brian Nichols Show, and thank you for joining us on, of course, another fun-filled episode. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you live from, yes, our Stratus IP studios here in lovely Eastern Indiana. Don't let cyber attacks or old, outdated business technology slow your company down. Learn more at briannicholsshow.com/Stratus IP. And you can also get your free one-on-one business technology consultation over at briannicholsshow.com/Stratus IP. Stratus IP, business technology simplified. Folks, really looking forward to today's conversation where, we're going to talk about that question that was recently posed over on an episode of Dave Smith's Part of the Problem. How do we sell our ideas? I think there's one part of his episode I want to focus on in particular that I thought was actually quite effective. But first, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is the awesome team over at Right Strategies. Now, whether you are a business owner or you are a candidate looking for some help as you enter the digital landscape, look no further. Right Strategies is going to be helping you amplify both your messages on the political landscape as well as your small business landscape as well. So with that being said, a proven track record of helping their clients win elections and get their businesses growing using smart, strategic digital marketing, Right Strategies is going to be the perfect partner to help you reach your goals. Also, they have an amazing SMS texting tool that's going to give you an efficient, affordable, and smart way to focus your marketing budget by helping you reach tens of thousands of voters and customers, helping you make a powerful impact on the outcome of your elections and your business growth. If you want to learn about how Right Strategies can help you and your elections and your business growth, head to briannicholsshow.com/RS. Get your free campaign or marketing plan report card, and all you got to do is let Morgan and the team over at Right Strategies know that I sent you. One more time, briannicholsshow.com/RS. All right, folks. So with that being said, on to today's episode. And it's going to be a good episode. Really looking forward to this one because I'm hearing more and more people talking about the ideas of selling liberty. And that's pretty important when that's one of the main things we talk about here on the Brian Nichols Show, just beyond educating, enlightening, and informing. Yes, bringing you sales and marketing strategies that work both in the world of politics, but also in the world of business. And with that being said, today I want to talk about what Dave Smith brought up as an effective way to help sell our ideas over in a recent episode of Part of the Problem. I thought in particular, there was one part of the episode that really resonated in terms of what we need to be doing more effectively. And it does talk about, and you're going to hear about this with Dave, talking about not just the importance of having great ideas, or as Dave will articulate later, beautiful ideas, but also the importance of being able to meet people on the issues, meet people where they are on the issues they care about. And that's so important. And we talk about that every single time we have an episode here on the Brian Nichols Show. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're going to go ahead and check out the recent episode. It's episode 921, Part of the Problem, Dave Smith here. We're going to start things off about halfway through the episode. And here we go. All right, stand by.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not the expert on how to sell our ideas. There's people who do it better than me. I do it pretty good. I think I at least have earned a seat at the table of giving my opinion on this. I've been able to successfully convince a lot of people that, these ideas have some merit to them. But if I was going to take a look at how liberty-minded people should be selling their ideas in 2022. And this isn't even to suggest whatever political party you might be a part of or not being in a political party. That's beside the point. I'm just talking about how to sell ideas. Although if you are a member of the Libertarian Party, this might be particularly relevant for you, seeing as how selling your ideas is a lot more important than if you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Really quick. You want to know why? It's because at the end of the day, what are we? We're RC Cola. Democrats and Republicans, that's Pepsi and Coke. We have an uphill battle from the onset. Now, we have just as there are with the RC Cola. I'm sure a bunch of raving fans. I think we actually did this experiment with our friend Chris Goizena on an episode in yesteryear, and it was a great kind of experiment where he went online. He found, yeah, there are groups where there's 60, 70, 80,000 fans that are all rabid fans of RC Cola, and yet RC Cola, it's still probably the third, maybe fourth most drank soda in America, behind Pepsi and Coca-Cola. There's a reason for that, and there's a reason why RC Cola has an uphill advantage, and that's the same thing that's true with us in the Liberty world that we're facing as well.
That's just the nature of being a third party, is like you really got to sell people on what you believe in, because the other ones are almost like starting with this unfair advantage over you, where most people assume already that they believe in what those people believe in, even though that's not so clear. But regardless, if you're a libertarian in the Libertarian Party, you really got to convince people, hey, this is what I'm selling and this is what you should buy, these ideas. So I'd say that this is what I would say the basics of it are, right? Number one, the beauty that I was talking about, that I think Tom Woods was getting at in that speech, and that I'm extrapolating from Jeff Dyke's speech, even though I don't think this is exactly what he was saying, is that there's beauty in believing in something passionately and trying to express that to other people. I think that in itself is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And this is something we talk about here on the show quite frequently, is the importance of not just selling a product, a service, a solution, but you yourself, you have to believe in it. And I've seen this way too many times. And frankly, this is something that I had to get better at as I was growing as a sales leader. And that was not having people work for me that weren't in it, that weren't focused and truly believed that what they were selling was the best solution for their customers. And as a matter of fact, as many times they just kind of were in it just to say they had a job, a job. And that's something that I think we're seeing right now with the Liberty movement fundamentally change. And that is, more folks are starting to enter the Liberty movement because they truly, at their core, love liberty. It is a beautiful idea. I know when I first entered into the Liberty movement, I was just blown away that this entire philosophy existed. And I had never heard of it until I had to actively go out of my way and find it, to discover it. Why is that? Why wasn't I taught about this in the government schooling system? Why wasn't I really taught this during my college education? And even when I was, it wasn't really talked about as libertarianism. It was talked about in more layman's terms. And that's something I want to really explore more into and then share with other people this amazing idea, this beautiful idea that I discovered, that everybody else should discover as well. But Dave quickly articulates the danger we face when we are trying to get people so excited about the ideas we care about when we don't first start addressing the things they care about.
And there's true beauty in believing in something unpopular and trying to express that and convince other people of that. I think that's something important to always remember. But if you want to sell something to someone, it can't just be the beautiful ideas. That's important. It's a prerequisite, but it can't just be that alone. That's just not enough. It's also got to, it has to address what people really care about. And so this is something that is, even though I and Tom Woods and other people have, like, he made that point that I'm referring to now, that he really loved how beautiful these ideas are. That in itself will not be enough to sell your ideas to a large group of people. And
what do we got to do? What do we have to do? We know the answer to this. Everybody say it at once. Meet people where they're at on the issues they care about, right? And that's something that we talk about, I think, every episode, it feels like, but it's because it comes down to being a fundamental truth. We cannot and we will not find success unless we approach selling liberty in that mindset. If we're only selling liberty with the mindset of getting people to care about our issues, we're going to lose. We have been losing and we'll continue to lose. But if we start to talk to people about the issues they care about and show them that we actually care as well, then maybe, just maybe, they'll start to believe that we care, and that then they'll start to care about the things that we care about too.
This is a huge problem that a lot of libertarians have, is I think they get wrapped up in the beauty of their philosophy and forget about what's really leading to beauty or not leading to beauty in real life, in regular people's lives. I remember when I was, when I first became a libertarian, I was much younger than I am now. I mean, much younger, but 15 years younger than I am now. And it was in 2007. It was the first time I found libertarianism. And as I got into it, I was really into the beauty of the philosophy. And I was like totally into just like abstract philosophical conversations. As I've gotten older, and now I'm just in a different situation. I'm a husband and a father. I have I'm in the entertainment business, but I'm a pretty successful businessman, I suppose you could say. I've got more immediate practical concerns than I ever had when I first started this. And ideas are great, but I can understand a lot more where if you're going to sell people on something, you have to have serious proposals, serious analysis of what's actually, are problems in their lives and what the solutions to those problems.
Boom. I mean, how perfectly said, and exactly what we do here every single episode. We try to bring you guests that are going to be talking about the different problems that we see out there, but also the solutions. And we cannot understate that enough, how important it is to talk about the solutions that we bring to the table. Because if we don't talk about the solutions we bring to the table, somebody else will, even if they're not really solutions. I'll tell you a real life story, right? I had a customer who had a great solution for their phone system. At least they thought they did. They went in, talked to the sales rep from this telecom company. I will not name their name, but had it built out, they thought perfectly, only to come to find out that not only were there so many things that were missing that they originally thought they were going to be getting in the solution, in their contact center feature functionality, but also the fact that they were still paying quite a bit relative to what they thought they'd be getting if they were to get that feature functionality. So I came in, I was able to help them. I was able to not only identify the fact that, yeah, you're right, you should have been getting more based on what you're spending, but also that technology, a lot of the stuff that they're charging extra for is actually very basic technology for a lot of the newer providers out there. So being able to uncover a problem, but also offer a viable solution that helps address that problem and put them objectively in a better spot going forward. That's the answer. That's how we effectively sell liberty, sell our solutions, sell our ideas, but it requires us to do this twofold. We have to, again, talk about our beautiful ideas, but in the context of the solutions we bring to the table, specifically when they address the issues that people care about.
Problems are. And it can't just be like, well, I have this philosophy that we should all be better. You have to actually address the crises that person is facing. And these days, people in America are facing, there's a whole host of crises that they're facing. So that's something to keep in mind. One of the major crises in America right now is that we're slipping into a totalitarian mindset. We're slipping, which is the opposite of beauty. It's everything that crushes beauty. And this is what a lot of people will call, wokeism or whatever. Whatever term you want to use to call it, people call it critical race theory, or I've heard people call it cultural Marxism, whatever you want to call it. The truth is that people are more and more unable to speak their minds. Again, I think something that is the opposite of beauty, that is anti-beauty. People being afraid to say the wrong thing. And I don't just mean this is not just a conversation of like the role of the state and the individual. I'm just talking about as a culture, like throughout our society. And perhaps some libertarians could argue that, like, well, we don't really have anything to say about that. If there's social pressure against certain ideas, then okay, I guess that's fine. But that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, yes, I'm sure there are some ideas that maybe there should be cultural pressure against speaking. But again, libertarians, I don't think should be, as beautiful as the philosophy of libertarianism is, I don't think there's any beauty in libertarians being reduced to saying, I am, as a human being, completely reduced to a theory between the relationship of the state and the individual, and nothing more than that.
How true, right? And again, we have to make our ideas actually applicable to your average person. And we don't do that by going in with libertarian theory in principle, level 1000 to level 10, your average person. We have to meet them where they're at. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but that is truly what it comes down to. And if we are neglecting to do so, our competition's going to. So with that being said, I thought this was a very interesting episode to share here from Part of the Problem, because, yeah, Dave's talking about selling liberty, selling our ideas effectively. And frankly, we need to have people who are out there effectively selling our ideas. And at the end of the day, I think we have a great opportunity right now. Why? Because when you look at where your average voter is, and even beyond your average voter, your average person, I would say, they're not only tired of what's been going on over the past 2, 4, 6, 8 years, 10, 20 years. It's been going on and getting worse year after year after year, seemingly for a number of our most important elections of our lifetime. And people are tired. They're tired of this being the constant rhetoric, the pendulum swinging ever so further to the left and to the right. Really to the right? Not really. Has it ever really gone to the right? No, but it's been swinging further to the left in terms of control, of totalitarian control. So what are we going to do about that? We have to get other people involved, get other people woke up. That's why it's so awesome to see that Elon Musk having control of Twitter is going to change the way we are able to have conversations, instead of arbitrarily having the tech overlords push the thumb on and weight the scale on the favor of the leftists that are on Twitter. I mean, we've already seen over the past few days their numbers decrease in the replies and in their tweets and such, just by the nature that I'm assuming that they've changed a lot of the way that the bots were able to interact with the profiles. We're seeing this happen in real time. So right now, not only do we have a great opportunity to now reach people who have been looking for a different way of doing things, but now we have, I hope, a level playing field on one platform at least. And it's actually a platform that it does impact the social conversation. So let's take advantage of that. Let's do a good job. Let's meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Let's look for trigger events. Let's find people who are going through specific, whether it's geographic issues, whether it's cultural issues, whatever the issue is that we can enter into with libertarian solutions. Let's be that. Let's be those solutions-based folks that they're looking for, and let's get people out there who aren't your traditional voter. I challenge you to do that. Go find people who haven't voted, and let's show them that things don't have to be completely dominated by the red team and the blue team. We can do things differently and actually make things better here. So with that being said, folks, thank you for joining us today. If you got some value from today's episode, I'm going to ask you to do, please go ahead, give us some love over on Patreon, over on PayPal, whatever is best for you. BrianNicholsShow.com/support. If it's on Patreon, $5 a month to become a supporting listener. PayPal, it's whatever you want, 5, 10, 20, 100. It all goes right back here into the Brian Nichols Show to have amazing conversations that, will leave you educated, enlightened, and informed, but also amazing guests to leave you educated, enlightened, and informed. So yes, if you get value here from the Brian Nichols Show, a donation here to the program would be greatly appreciated. And also, another way you can support the show is to share the show. Yes, to steal the quote from Tim Pool, be the notification. Go ahead, share today's episode. Or if you want to go ahead, hey, I mentioned this last episode, I did want to make sure I gave you guys an option to support the show, but also get something back in return. And that is, yes, over at briannicholsshow.com/shop. You can go ahead and support the Proud Libertarian store. And of course, the Brian Nichols Show shop over at said Proud Libertarian store. Look at this. We got our new Michael Scott 2024 swag. And I cannot tell you that this shirt has been selling like hotcakes. So please, if you want to go ahead, support the program and you're a fan of The Office, go ahead, grab your Michael Scott 2024 40-day plan, 40 days to get us back on track. 40 points. It's a 45 day, 1 point per day. We get 45 points. We're back in business. That's the quote. Yeah, go ahead, grab yours today, but just do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Use code TBNS at checkout for discount applied. And otherwise, folks, if you did not get a chance, by the way, we had a great episode yesterday where I sat down and I talked about when I was up at the Libertarian Party of Illinois State Convention /Gala. I got to hear Justin Amash talk about what he thought the libertarian conversation should be in terms of our differentiators when we're bringing our messaging to the voters. He thought it should be democracy, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. I say I don't think so. I think there's other things we should be talking about. You want to hear what my thoughts were? Well, go ahead, check out yesterday's episode. If you're joining us here on YouTube, over on Rumble, or over on Odyssey, I'll make it easy for you. I'll include that video right here below. And otherwise, if you want to go ahead and check out that episode, if you're joining us on the audio version of the show, head to briannicholsshow.com where you can find that episode plus all 613 other episodes of the program. Otherwise, folks, that's all I had for you. I've missed you this week. I'm sorry. I know we've had a confusing and weird schedule. We're back on track here, kicking things off bright and early on Monday. I'm looking forward to speaking with you and hanging out with you. But otherwise, go enjoy your weekend. That being said, Brian Nichols signing off here on the Brian Nichols Show. We'll see you on Monday.
For listening to the Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.